Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. It is time to make another quilt block. We are going to be making something different today. It is a half rectangle triangle. It's like a half square triangle, only we're going to be starting with a rectangle shape and making our triangles out of that. I have not done it yet, so I'm very excited to try it. You want a background fabric. We'll be cutting 2 squares of the background, and I'm going with black, and I'm so excited. Black with pink and a darker pink, reddish pink. I think that's going to be a super cool combination. So we need 2 rectangles of the background and then 1 each of another color. I'm going to show you how I cut. I'm going to cut everything together. Now I know I need 2 of the black, so I'm going to put that fabric right sides together so I can cut 2 at the same time. And I'm just going to stack all the fabrics. I like to put the widest on the bottom so that I make sure I've got everything cut. So let's do this next, and let's do this next. It doesn't matter if they're right sides up or down, we're just making rectangles. So I'm just going to, see what I can get here. It looks like I can get at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe I'll go 5.5. But let me start by just trimming this. And then without moving that, let me decide how long I want my rectangle to be. Let's say 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could just as easily say 7 to 17 is 10 inches, but I watch a lot of Missouri Star Quilt Company, and Jenny always counts, so I'm in the habit of counting. Now I'm going to just cut across there. Then I only need to go to that point. Let's just trim this off here, and we can remove, whoop, got a little sticky right there. Right there. We can get rid of all this. So now those 2 ends are done. Cut at 10 inches. Now I'm going to turn. Oh, I'm actually going to end up with 6 inches. Let's do 5. I'm going to go 5 by 10. And 1 more cut. So now I have my 4 pieces cut. 2 background and 2 colors. We're going to take our 2 colored pieces, or not background pieces, and you're going to get a ruler. Is my ruler long enough for the diagonal? It is. If you don't have a sewing ruler long enough, get a yardstick if you need. And we're going to draw a diagonal line there. You can use whatever you want to draw the line, because we're going to be cutting on that line so it won't show. Now notice I drew the line in this direction for this block. I'm going to do it the opposite direction for the other block. Now here's the little tiny bit of tricky part. Normally we want to just lay our pieces together, but not in this case. This right side up, see the diagonal is going this way? We're going to match the top of the line to this corner and the bottom of the line to this corner. Super sweet. I know it looks crazy, but it's going to work. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pins. Don't really have to, but I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. Now for this guy, we're doing the opposite. Let's put our background piece down, and we're going to, instead of this, we're going to match it up this way, the opposite direction of this guy. So the top of the line here in that corner and the bottom of the line in this corner. Just like that. And pin. Or not. I just think that where there's overhang, it might be easier for the stuff to shift. That is it. Now we're going to do what we're already used to doing. We are going to the machine and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side of that line, or just line up the side of your foot to the line and use that as a measuring guide. You should be able to see that I stitched on both sides of the diagonal line. If you need to see me do that, I show you how in the first video of this series. I will have a playlist link down below. Just go to the very first video. Now I am going to actually press this while it's sewn together. I'm going to press to set the seams flat. When you press to set the seams, it relaxes the threads and it makes it you know, a nice cleaner look when you end up turning it and pressing open. Just a nice little step that I like to do. Now you're just going to cut on the diagonal. You can use your rotary cutter, or you can just use your scissors. You're just cutting right on that line you drew. I like to stack my pieces with the dark sides facing up. Then I'm just going to the iron. I'm going to open and press each one. And look at what we have. So super cool. We have two like this and two like this. And these can be turned into so many designs. I can't wait to get on my computer and make my digital quilt and show you all the combinations that I can come up with. There's going to be many more than I can come up with, but I can only show you so many. One last thing that you want to do, you'll notice that at the top, because we're using rectangles, there's a little part there where it doesn't meet up, and you can just trim that. For me, it's like 1/4 of an inch, so you want to just go ahead and cut off that on each side of your block, just to make them nice and neat. And if there's any little tails still sticking out, you can trim that too. Easy as that. I have them all trimmed up, and if your corner still doesn't match perfectly, that's okay, because there will be seam allowances when you use these, so that'll all get hidden under the seam allowance. Let's see what we can do. A gazillion things, I'm sure. We can do that. And I did want to mention, you could have made all your blocks in the same direction. That would give a whole different look. I chose to do one in each diagonal like I showed you. You can do whatever you want. And your background doesn't have to match either. You could have started with 4 separate rectangles. You don't have to do a double background. I just wanted there to be a lot of black in mine. You can do something like that. This is interesting. You could use 3 and make an odd block like that. Do love. Or you can do like this and like this. All kinds of things that you can do. That's pretty cool. I love that we're working with rectangles. What happens if I swap these two out? Like that and that. Different. How about if I turn it? Like that and that. Ooh! That's freaking awesome! You can see that I'm going to have a lot of fun on my computer. I'm going to try to limit myself to like 10 designs, but you can probably do 100 with these blocks, especially if you start playing with, you know, using 4 colors, or you could do just all 2 colors. Gonna be a good time. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so you don't miss my future quilt blocks, and I will be back with more soon. Bye!